This is KGW News at noon.
Well, this week's heat wave continues this afternoon as temperatures throughout the valley climb back towards 100 degrees. This is a live look from our Wells Fargo Skycam. You can see the haze out there today. Yesterday wound up being the hottest day ever on record here in Portland at 108 degrees, at least the hottest day ever on record in August. How hot will it get today is the big question. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Drew Carney. To answer that question, I know, Chris, you were saying he better say August.
You heard me scowling from all the way in the newsroom, didn't you?
It was 2 years ago in June of 2021 that we had 116 degrees. But again, yesterday, 108.
Yeah, in those 3 days, we went 108, 112, 116, right? So that put this current heat wave in perspective. And that said, it's still hot, and it's going to get pretty hot this afternoon. This is the live look from the Waianaloa from the Reserve Golf Course and Vineyard out there. All right, so here's one thing I wanted to show you. Change is coming slowly. The numbers that you see here along the Oregon and Washington coast, that minus 16 in Tillamook, that minus 11 in Astoria, that is showing us the change in temperature from 24 hours ago. So what that's basically saying is that cooler air is trying to work its way in from the coast. It's not going to get here today. Just a taste. We're going to feel a little taste of it today. But the big story, I think, is that we're continuing to be quite hot for at least 2 more days here in the Willamette Valley. How hot? It's 91 degrees at lunchtime at PDX. And elsewhere, we're 92 in Hillsborough, 88 Oregon City. We slip south towards our state capital, 91. So again, well on our way to another triple-digit day. In fact, the record for today is 100, set back in 2008. So I think we'll have no problems soaring up and over that. We've got hazy sun, and I still have us topping out at 104 this afternoon, Drew. We inch back on the heat just a little bit more tomorrow and a little bit more on Friday, or Thursday, I should say. And by Friday, you'll really appreciate the fact that things are cooling off. We'll look at that 7-day forecast in just a few.
Yeah, more words of relief coming from Chris here in just a few minutes. But as you know, Chris, local lakes and rivers are among the top spots to cool off when the weather gets this hot. They can also be the most dangerous, though. Local first responders say they've had several cases the past few days where people not wearing life jackets died in the water. On Sunday evening, Clackamas County deputies say a 44-year-old man drowned at Riverside Park. Deputies say he jumped into the river but didn't come back up. A Clackamas Fire Water Rescue team had to pull him out. Medics then spent more than a half hour trying to revive him, but they couldn't. Also last weekend in Longview, the Cowlitz County Sheriff's Office says a 15-year-old boy died while trying to swim across the Cowlitz River with 3 friends. This happened on Saturday. The current was stronger that day than the teenagers thought. 2 of them made it out of the river on their own. 1 had to be pulled out, and again, the other died. The city of Portland, meanwhile, has put a pause on removing homeless camps during this heat wave. KGW's Blair Best takes a look at what went into that decision and how long this pause will last.
The weather sticks to David Bentley like glue.
Trying to get some of this dust and crap that stuck to me because I was sweating.
And water on the streets is scarce.
And not trying to always put off that image that, that we live in dirt. You know what I mean?
For David, the extreme heat is just one obstacle. He's in a race against the clock since his campsite under the I-84 ramp was posted for removal on Friday, leaving him with 3 days to move.
Making people get up, move their stuff, no matter what the weather is. You know what I mean? They're exhausting themselves just so you can come along and push them around and take their stuff some more.
Hey, man. Care for a bottle?
In Old Town, staff from Blanchet House do what they can to make life on the streets a little easier.
Just pulled out of the freezer.
Of course. We shouldn't take any action that isn't helping people survive during this extreme period of heat.
Scott Kerman runs Blanchet House and is calling on the city to stop clearing homeless camps like David's during this week's heat wave.
As I know there's a lot of energy right now in our community, whether it's sweeps or the camping ban, for there to be something done about unsanctioned camping. If you feel that way, this is not the time for it. This is a time where sweeping people moving them out of their space could actually be deadly.
The mayor's office tells KGW camp removals are currently on pause due to the excessive heat warning, which also prompted Mayor Ted Wheeler to declare a state of emergency. That ends on Friday.
I don't want to die out here. I don't want to die just another homeless guy, just another number.
Blair Best, KGW News.
In another heat-related story, Portland General Electric is asking customers to cut back on power during the evening hours to help avoid possible outages. PGE says the best way to help is to avoid using your washer and dryer, running your dishwasher, or charging your electric car between the hours of 5 p.m. and 10 p.m.
What is your outage plan if your power does go out? Do you know where the local cooling shelters are? Do you have friends or family that you can go stay with?
Other suggestions from PGE include remembering to turn off your air conditioning unit if no one will be home for a long stretch of time, or at least keeping the thermostat set at a constant temperature if you only plan to be out for a short while. Also, don't cool rooms that no one's using. In other news this afternoon, the Klamath Falls man accused of kidnapping a woman, then holding her in a makeshift cell, pleaded not guilty in court yesterday. Nagasi Zuberi faces 1 count of kidnapping and 1 count of transportation with intent to engage in sexual activity. In July, Zuberi allegedly kidnapped a woman in Seattle, then drove her to Southern Oregon, where he locked her up in a cinder block cell in his garage. The survivor was able to escape, and police eventually arrested Zuberi in Nevada. Authorities say Zuberi has lived in 10 different states and uses multiple aliases. The FBI also confirmed today that it's still seeking out other victims.